It seems that rockers and movies are like chocolate and peanut butter. Whether they are appearing as themselves or showing up in some bit part, it's always a lot of fun for rock fans to be surprised by the appearance of one of their favorite musicians. On this week's show, we count down 10, maybe more, of the most outrageous rock star appearances in movies that have delighted fans. Stick around. You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini, and this is the hour each week where we do it. We get together and we talk about music. We usually pick a cool topic like we are tonight. We're going to be talking about most outrageous rock star cameos and appearances in movies. We do this every week. Many of you probably listen on Rock Rage Radio. That's rockrageradio.com. So our Rock Rage fans, give a shout out to you. And but we are all over the place on Spotify and Apple Music and all the things. If you like what we do and you want to hang out with some other folks that, some folks just like you and me that love great guitar driven rock, I encourage you to go to our private group at loulombardirocks.com. Great community. So if you love great guitar driven rock from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even today, this is the place to hang out. There's a lot of cool musicians and bands in there. There's a lot of cool fans in there. So it's fans and bands kind of hanging out. Very cool stuff. Posting music, talking about music. No BS, no politics, no COVID, none of that horse crap. So check it out at loulombardirocks.com. So I hit Rock Rage Radio. Thank you. Hit loulombardirocks.com, and we need to hit Wolf's Customs because you need a custom finish on your musical instrument, whether it is a electric guitar or whether it's a swinette or a kazoo or whatever it is that you played. You play the recorder. Chris Thunderwolf Dotson at wolfscustoms.online can fix you up, man. He can make you when you get on stage, you are going to look like a total badass because your guitar, bass, drum set, or whatever is going to look nothing like the other 5 bands that played. Or, if you're doing your internet concert or whatever you're doing, you want to have something custom. You want it to look cool. It doesn't cost as much as you think. Hit him up. Tell him Loudini sent you at wolfscustoms.online. We have the Power Trio. The Power Trio was all in one room for a little while this weekend, but we are back to our normal places here. And we've got Keith the Hawk Hawkins from New Orleans. What's up, Keith?
What's up? How you?
All good.
How are all of you fine Americans today?
Just
You're living a dream like me because it is a dream, ladies and gentlemen. It is a dream. And hopefully it won't become a nightmare, but let's stay a dream.
Yeah, let's hope. Because right now, it looks like the nightmare thing might be happening.
Somebody pinch me, I'm sleeping.
So we have Lily V6. You guys know Lily V6 from Hot Licks with Lily V6. She's with us today. What's up, Lily?
I am here, and I was excited to hang out with everybody this weekend, so that was awesome. Good times. Had a blast.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was had by all. Keith and his wonderful wife Samantha came to Pittsburgh, and we had a really fun time. So sorry, we didn't do any like lives or anything.
No, we did not do that.
We were just having a good time.
We were having too much fun.
So sorry you missed it. Next time, join the club.
You're not in the Cool Kids Club, so sorry.
All right, guys. Be thinking about as we continue on. Those of you who are watching live, we do this live, by the way. That's one of the benefits you get if you go to loulombardirocks.com. And key in some of your favorite rock star cameos or bit part appearances in movies, and we'll talk about them for sure. We start the show off each time with a band, and this week is no exception. This is a band called Reign of Z. We've been big fans here at the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus for many years of these guys. Check them out, Pittsburgh's own Reign of Z on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. It's Reign of Z on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Great band from the Pittsburgh area. You can go to you can go. There it is.
Theirs is easy.
There it is. You can go to reignofz.com and check them out. My mouse, hovering my mouse would not cooperate.
You can go to.
You can go to.
I thought you had some flow going for a second there. You could go to. But everybody's hanging on like, what, Lou, what? And then all of a sudden it was right there. So, This new hip hop album will drop next Tuesday. Get it, kids.
And there it is.
Shout out to Bill, Bethany, and who else?
Bobby Lamondie
for hanging out with us tonight live. You got a favorite outrageous rock star cameo in a movie or like appearance in a movie? Let us know. Doesn't cameo? Okay, just curious. Not curious. Just to sort of lay down definitions or whatever. A cameo is technically when the person shows up as themselves. You know, right? Doesn't Bill Murray show up in that zombie movie as Bill Murray?
Oh, I don't know. Does he?
you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
You know, those kind of things where like the person's sort of playing themselves in the movie. Alice Cooper in Wayne's World.
Wayne's World
would
be
kind of
like
that would
an
be more of
example.
like a cameo. But we're also including like
Bit parts.
people will like interchange with like bit parts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's a certain pop star who shows up as a police commissioner or something in a movie.
Yes.
And Lily and I were talking about it before, and I never know. Also, I'm not a fan of this movie at all.
Oh, well,
I
I
like
am.
to see it, and I did not like it. But I missed it. So that's the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump in. Last week we started with Keith. This week we're going to start with Lily. Lily, what do you got?
So we're just going to go ahead and start it off with Ace Ventura Pet Detective. One of the funniest pieces of death metal history, having the band Cannibal Corpse in the movie as themselves. Ace is making his way through a crowd of metalheads while making like comedic lines and sort of mambo dancing up to the stage. He makes it on the stage, sings a little bit with them, and then it's just hysterical the way he's like dancing to the whole thing. But yeah, they play Hammer Smash Face in the movie, which is one of my favorite songs by them. But yeah, it's a good appearance. It's fun.
Cool.
Ace also claims that's his favorite band now. I don't know. Or Jim Carrey. Yeah.
He don't like no Cannibal Corpse. He's full of stuff. He's full of poop.
I don't know. He likes Napalm Death.
He is a crazy son B, that's all I can say.
Cannibal Corpse.
He just mad. He likes it for their lyrical content.
So they show up, they play themselves.
They're as themselves in a club.
They don't have any speaking.
No speaking parts. They were just playing with. It was specifically for the movie, but they were just playing songs at a concert. So
cool.
In a little club.
I haven't seen this movie, the Ace Ventura Pet Detective, in years. So and probably at the time I would not have known who Cannibal Corpse was. So there you are. So they were. I was a real band. I wasn't just some.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, what do you got, Keith?
I got the godfather of metal himself in two different roles. Once as himself, and once as somebody else. So if that counts,
sure.
We're going to use the great Ozzy Osbourne in Private Parts.
Oh, that's right.
Has a lot of cameos, but we're going with rockers. I mean, I can go on and on with that, but and he has one line in the whole flick. He's like, "What an effing jerk," and that's all he says about Fart Man / Howard Stern coming down on the BMAs or whatever it was on. So that is Ozzy 1. Ozzy 2, if you remember a little movie from the 80s called Trick or Treat, he played a preacher and had his face literally scratched out of the television by the great Sammy Kerr.
Yep.
And he died. And he had his last parting line was, "These evil people must be stopped." And the next thing you know, he's screaming to death. So Ozzy playing the preacher at the time with his little slick to the side hair, that's pretty funny. Sammy Kerr.
It was definitely a fun role.
Ass, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in years, but yes. Yeah, well, Private Parts. Yes, I remember him being in Private. There's a lot of bands in Private, or a lot of people.
Oh yeah, you could go on AC/DC's and that. I mean, that's they play themselves obviously. So I mean, there's a lot of like cameos from rappers and different things, and that backstage part, Ted Nugent's in there. I mean, so you could go on and on. Just that movie alone could take a freaking hour. It's a very funny movie, but the Trick or Treat's a little bit more obscure. I mean, Fast Way, we've discussed them with the soundtrack. Yeah, but Ozzy was in that movie, which is funny because he plays a TV evangelist, and it's kind of funny. That's all.
Yeah, especially in the 80s.
Gene Simmons is in it too, unfortunately. But Gene Simmons actually has, I wouldn't say a primary role, but he's in the movie, and he's actually like I would call a co-star. He has several lines, and he plays a DJ and has a beard. And Gene Simmons has been in a few movies.
Yeah, he's in that movie with Tom Selleck. That's where it's a kind of set in the future.
Runaway. He's actually probably, he looks like Jack Nicholson in The Shining on that one. He has the slick hair. Yeah, Runaway is the shitty movie, but it's definitely he's in that too. This guy's probably been in several different movies that I've probably forgot, but I was just trying to think of like really popular like rock star types that were
No.
appearing in the movie.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, like what I didn't want to say. Okay, well, Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park or whatever.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's like a movie about
That's
Kiss.
about
Like,
Kiss.
Although a little known fact about that movie, real quick, and I know so much Keith loves Kiss, is Ace Frehley refused to show up.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
And that's not him, and it's a black dude.
Yep.
It's a black dude.
What?
It's a black dude playing Space Ace in the movie.
Whatever.
He doesn't have. I don't think he has any speaking lines. He just kind of like hangs out.
I think we would know if he
I'm
did.
all for equality in movies, you know.
It was an Academy Award. All right, so what do you got next, Lily?
Airheads. Lemmy. Lemmy is in Airheads. He doesn't play himself. He just plays someone in the crowd when they're giving these speeches of how they came from nerds to being cool. And he was so he says the editor of the school newspaper. And it's just a great line in the movie because earlier they mentioned that Lemmy is God. So it's sort of like a little foreshadowing kind of thing that he would be in the movie. And it's pretty awesome just to see him there.
Cool. You got any other Lemmy appearances, Keith?
I think there was a movie called Eat the Rich. I don't know if it was any good or not, but he's in that one because they wrote the song Eat the Rich for that. I don't know if that was the best movie ever, but it was a movie he was in. But you have to excuse me. I have to like patrol the scene because there's some shady characters rolling around the street sometimes. I got to just make sure everything's all right. I don't have to dirty Harry anybody's ass.
Oh man, so we might dirty Harry somebody's ass right on the podcast.
Nice.
We want to see that.
You might see it. Yeah, it'll be right on there, and I'll be up with all the YouTube sensations, popping caps.
Dude, that could be the best thing that ever happened to this podcast. You waste somebody or you toss somebody off your property or something
I would just shoot him in the foot just to wound him.
Nice.
No, dude, you don't do that.
Do it.
They'll come back.
Do it.
They'll come back with their friends.
They'll come back with a limp, though. I'll tell you that.
Okay, I have been kind of laying off because I don't want to steal anybody's thunder. But so I'll try to pick one that I think maybe nobody else will pick. How does that sound?
That sounds great. If you pick it, you pick it.
Okay. There was an appearance by Eddie Van Halen in 2.5 Men.
Steven Tyler was also in that show.
So he came in and played some guitar with Charlie Sheen. So check that out.
Wow.
So there it is.
There it is. So
I heard that Charlie Sheen during that entire episode snorted coke off Eddie's back while he played a rupture.
No, he didn't.
You know, that's probably legit.
That's probably a true story, and if it's not true, it should be.
What do you got? Who's next?
You're up, Keith.
I try to pick films that I actually like the cameo from people because, it's just the way I roll. It's just all selfish picks at this point.
Legit.
But Chris Cornell has no lines and singles, and there's a ton of other cameos, but he just kind of stands there and looks cool. It's Chris Cornell. What are you going to do, man?
That movie is rife with cameos.
Well, why don't we go ahead with everybody then? So we're talking about the movie.
That's
and Alice in Chains. I mean, Pearl Jam is basically Citizen Dick without, with Matt Dillon as the friggin' singer. I mean, that movie is based around the Seattle music scene and the Seattle singles scene, but it's a cool hand in hand. It's obviously another Cameron Crowe film.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Dude knows how to make movies about music. That's all I can say. But that's one of them films that has a ton of cameos. I just went for Chris Cornell. The Alice in Chains part's really cool. They're doing It Ain't Like That off their first record. That's a great one too. Like I said, Pearl Jam's they even have a couple of them have Eddie Vedder has some lines. Jeff Allman has some lines in it. I mean, it's
my favorite parts and when they're watching the nature documentary about bees and they're just like staring at it. That's a great part in that movie. But it's also rife with like cameos from other stars too, but it's heavy on the musicians.
I do not know this movie at all. I know what it is.
What? Are you
I've never
serious?
seen
I mean,
it
I don't
because
think
here's
there's
what.
one Nirvana scene though.
Chet. Let me explain why I've never watched it. Because it just looked like a romance, and I'm like, I don't want to watch a freaking romance.
It is, and it isn't. It is, and it isn't.
know,
Well, it's
like-
a dating movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. So it's because it's the title. I'm like, singles. Oh, these are people trying to hook up. Like, yawn. Like, it does not. I know the music's great. I appreciate all that. But the subject, it's not something that interests me.
It's just not. It's just not your bag.
There's very few, like, romantic movies I like. There's just a few, but there's very, very few. And at that period in time, man, I couldn't imagine anything less romantic than the 90s.
It's not supposed to be. It was music to slit your wrist to at the time. So, yeah. Oh, and it has a lot of
Let's hook
rejection.
up and do suicide. You know, it has
Right.
a lot of rejection.
It has a lot of rejection.
Yeah, it
Exactly what
definitely
I
has a
need to
lot of
say.
like regular actors and actresses in it, but it has a ton of music scenes, and it just has some like really small cameos from Chris Cornell, the singer from Tad, whose name is Tad something or other. Answers a phone. He has like a little line in it, but Chris Cornell doesn't have a line at all, and he just stands there.
He just stands there. It's great.
As Matt Dillon smashes the windows of his girlfriend's new crazy system, his speakers blew out the window. So
Yep.
I won't give the whole movie away for Lou, but it's a good movie to watch. It's worth one
Just try
watch.
Just give it a try.
Okay.
It's Cameron Crowe. Just give it a try.
Right. So this was one of my favorite movies growing up. I watched it literally every day after school. Hook. Phil Collins is actually in this movie. Towards the beginning, he plays an inspector trying to Inspector Good. He's trying to find Peter Pan's kids who were kidnapped by Hook. Also in the movie, besides Phil Collins, is David Crosby and Jimmy Buffett. They both play pirates in Captain Hook's gang. Very, very quick, but you definitely can tell it's them. Jimmy Buffett was the shoe stealing pirate, and David Crosby's in there. Just so you can it's panned on him several times. You know it's him.
Jimmy Buffet.
Yes.
Nice.
I heard Jimmy Buffett played the butt pirate in that movie, but that's a whole other.
You never know.
story we can talk about later.
Now I have to bleep you. Darn it.
You have to bleep him for that.
Sorry, parrot heads.
Are you
play with your bird, man?
Are you a fan of that movie, Keith? Hook?
I've never seen it.
It's a modern Peter Pan movie, but it was in 1991. That's something I would have been into.
I took my girlfriend at the time. We went to see it, and neither one of us were like really. Neither one of us liked it. I thought it was way too little kidsy. Like it felt like a little little kids movie.
Definitely a little kids movie.
And so I was like, I thought it was going to just be like just a little bit more adult, and I was like felt like boy, I don't really belong here watching this movie. So yeah. I mean, it was okay. Robin Williams, and Dustin Hoffman, there's
Julia Roberts.
Again, there's an element of personal taste. Didn't what's her name play something in that? Glenn Close?
She was a pirate.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. She was a pirate too, and she actually looks like a man.
Yeah, it's a sort of like a gender bender thing. There were elements of it I thought were, that's Steven Spielberg, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what can you say about Spielberg? But
the funny thing is, my neighbor's name is Hook.
Huh.
I don't think he was in the movie though. He's a crackhead, but it's one
He
of
might
the
have
guys.
been. Maybe he was a pirate.
That's why I
His name is Hook because he's
hooked.
hooked.
The word Hook. That's that guy.
Because he's hooked on crack.
He is hooked on crack
And there it is.
and whatever else.
Okay, I'm gonna say one, and then we're gonna play another song. Flea, the Big Lebowski. He plays one of the nihilists,
Yep.
and it's freaking great. If you've never, Lily says she's never seen that movie.
No, but I know he's in it. He's also in a couple other movies.
Yeah. He's made the rounds. And it's such right, Keith, that the Big Lebowski, right?
Yeah, he has another great part too that I've kind of just popped in my head as you were saying. But yeah, that's a great movie. Amy Mann's in that movie too.
That's right.
From
She's
Till
the one with
Tuesday,
the toe.
Hush, keep it down, I'll smack you around. That's kind of movie.
Yeah, the toe. Yeah, she's the one. She's the one with the toe. Yeah, it's she's part of the nihilist organization as well. Yeah, no, yeah, that's if you've never seen it, you should see it. I can't believe anybody's on the planet who's never seen it, Lily.
I
but
didn't.
We're gonna have to have a Big Lebowski party.
I'll watch it. I mean, I don't care.
Oh, it's really off the hook. It's crazy. Well, Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it.
Oh, well,
it's really
I'm sold
good.
then for real.
Jeff Lebowski.
Bridges.
Jeff Bridges, one of the greatest of our time. John Goodman's in it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
John Turturro, the great John Turturro.
I love him. I'll watch it.
Oh, he plays the Jesus.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Like, I know what it is.
He's a petter ass, dude.
I know what it is being in like the media and everything. I definitely know what it's about. I just have never physically watched it. So
okay, and before we go, the Flea. You said you were thinking of Flea in another movie. Before we go, you got my curiosity.
This is actually a newer movie, which just popped in my head as soon as you mentioned Flea. I was like, damn, he was good in this. Did you ever see the Boy Erased?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I heard of it.
Yeah, it's a deep flick. I mean, it's Russell Crowe's in it. Nicole Kidman. What the hell is that kid's name that was in 3 Billboards? He's the son. I don't know his name, but anyway, he's like he goes to school and he's gay and he has to do the whole coming out party. But Flea's one of those people that work at his, like, he goes through like a home to get him kind of his life straightened out, and Flea's like one of these like guidance counselor type people there, and tries to help him out, but he's like all clean cut and it's serious, and it's
a little bizarre.
Yeah, it's a little weird to see somebody be that serious. It's almost like watching Adam Sandler in like Punch Drunk Love or some other bullshit he tried to do.
And this is not a movie or a television show, but he also has a cameo in the Bust a Move video.
Flea does?
Yes, he's the guy standing up on the table playing the bass. That's Flea.
Oh,
that's him. Oh, dude! When I saw, oh my God, it's Flea.
He's also in Son-in-Law as a tattoo artist.
So yeah, he's like, he's
done his
everywhere,
thing,
man. He's like your dad.
Wow.
He just got to look to him,
What's that? What's that from Fast Times?
Wow. Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're gonna come back after this. This is the Redlines. We'll be back on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. All right, everybody. That is a little band called the Redlines, and we should give website addresses for these folks. I mean, I should.
Did you know that band?
Yeah, they're local, I believe.
Yeah, I know. Well, why don't you ask them how long they've been together? Because I think they've been together since I was 6.
Oh,
really?
I play them on my show a lot.
The redlines.us.
I think that band's been around a long time. That's what I'm not like Donnie Irish Clark's longevity, but it's like they've been around. If I'm thinking of the right band, don't quote me on it. That sounds like a band that's been around for a while because I recognize that voice.
Cool.
Yeah, they got a cool sort of like Americana kind of rock.
Oh, yeah, I like it, man. It's definitely cool. So, is that Rain Z band signed to any label? They have like a very sound that like a commercial sound that's heavy.
That's the thing about Rain Z. They do. They have a very like.
They're very professional.
Yeah, like a totally.
They got their stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, really
for sure.
Yeah, I know it sounds like a band that should probably be doing like if they're not I'm sure they're doing something, but I mean it's like I know the music business isn't what it once was, but they could be metal is always going to be around in some form or fashion. So
yeah.
I mean,
there's a guy that you and I both know that was producing them. I don't want to say his name on the podcast, and he was frustrated with him because they wouldn't listen to him, and that's what they came up with. So I think they may have done the right thing by not listening.
Right.
Because it sounds really good.
Tell me who it is. If I can be
I'll tell you after the podcast.
Yeah,
I just don't want to say on the podcast because he actually listens to the podcast. Oh, now you know it's a he.
I think we would have guessed that anyway.
But anyways, so we are talking about bands, or an artist rather, that have these like hilarious, fun, oh my God, blink and you miss it moments in movies, and there's tons of them. So sorry, we tried to do 10. We can never stick with 10.
I'm way over 10.
No. We just can't. We can't help ourselves. We're just too greedy. So that's what we did. And so far, we've talked about movie Ace Ventura with Cannibal Corpse, Private Parts and Trick or Treat with Ozzy, Airheads with Lemmy, 2.5 Men, Eddie Van Halen, the movie Singles with like everybody from the grunge era, The Big Lebowski with Flea and Amy Mann, Hook with Phil Collins, David Crosby, and Jimmy Buffett. And I do now that sometimes like when somebody brings something up, you think you remember hearing that. And now that you said David Crosby and Jimmy Buffett, like I think that I vaguely remember something about that thing, but who knows?
It's clearly David Crosby.
Well, he's very distinct, has a distinctive look. So we got Lily V6 and we got Keith the Hawk Hawkins with us tonight. Shout out to wolfscustoms.online. Get that custom paint job done on your guitar, bass, snare drum, ukulele, whatever it is you play. He will.
Glockenspiel.
He'll make you look like a badass on stage. And thank you, Rock Rage Radio. Go to rockrageradio.com. So let's go on with our talk here. What do you get? Who's Keith?
Keith's up.
Is it Keith up?
Keith's up.
Keith is the
me,
word.
this guy right here.
You, bro.
Here is a little drummer cameo from the movie.
Of course, a drummer.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of. I got that.
You're not partial though.
It's the god himself, Lars Ulrich, from Get Him to the Greek. Believe it or not, Lars is in a movie and actually has lines, and he's in a small part. And
I totally forgot about that movie, and I have it.
He's banging chicks, and he's banging Aldous Snow's chick, and it's Lars Ulrich. Yes,
nice. I totally forgot about that movie.
That one just popped. I had 12 that actually just popped in my head just from like not even looking at the computer. Then I went to the old research department, and I started seeing ones. I was like, oh, that one. So yeah. I'm way over 10 myself. So.
Yeah, legit. I couldn't help myself. I just kept typing them out.
Get Him to the Greek. Is that
Which
a good
is not
movie?
as good as it's a funny movie, but it's just like not great.
It's not as
P. Diddy's in it. I mean, Jonah Hill.
It's not as good as they hyped it up to be, but it's fun.
No, I mean it's just some of the songs are funny, and it's definitely the main character is funny. Aldous Snow. It's fun. It's a funny flick. I'm not saying it's great, but Lars is in it, and that's a big deal for Lars. I bet he's considered versatile.
He's got something else on his resume.
I mean, hey, Lars, that's one more movie than I've ever been in, so that he can say that about it.
Legit.
In a blink and you'll miss it moment, George Harrison is in Life of Brian.
I love that movie.
Which is a great.
Seriously?
Yes, he's in it, and he's in it's very, just like for a second, he's standing there with Eric Idle and some other people, and I don't think he talks. But an interesting factoid about the movie, they had a hard time getting that movie made. The studios were very afraid of it because of the sort of spiritual content of it, and George Harrison stepped in and financed the film. He's the producer of that film. So, and I don't know if that was part of the deal. You got to let me be in the movie,
and I'll give you some money.
But they were big. George Harrison was a huge Monty Python fan. I don't remember hearing the other Beatles talk about it. Maybe they loved the Python too, but George was a big Monty Python fan, and so he stepped in and helped them get Life of Brian made. Yes, it's a movie from the 70s, and a lot of our younger audience may not be familiar with it. Any of these movies you're not familiar with, you should go check out because some of them are pretty cool. And this is definitely one of those ones that I would say is a classic. And it is that Monty Python humor. So you got to be prepared for that kind of British type humor.
Type of thing.
It's a different thing. It's just a totally different thing. But anyways, George Harrison in Life of Brian. May calls him Brian.
It's so funny. I hate you.
Brian. May calls him Brian.
Wow. All right. Well, next on my list is High Fidelity, movie about a record store that sells vinyl.
He gave us his gourd.
Oh, here we go. Movie about a record store starring John Cusack, and Bruce Springsteen is in it as his conscious.
Keith's favorite singer.
Trying to give him some advice on dating. Another sort of dating type movie. But the boss is in it for a minute. And he talks.
In it for a minute.
He just tells him to pursue his next move. So, quick and dirty.
Yeah, cool movie. Good if you're music. There's some of these movies are kind of music movies.
Mm-hmm.
Singles.
Most of them.
Singles is a music movie. Airheads is a music movie.
Private Parts, Trick or Treat.
Those are what. Private Parts is definitely something that musicians will dig. And High Fidelity.
I love that movie.
That's cool. That is a very. I've seen it once. I really need to watch it.
Jack Black.
Yeah, He's great in that. Speaking of cameos, I'm sorry, I'm going to digress just briefly.
Uh-oh.
Just briefly.
Uh-oh.
I rewatched that early Will Smith movie with Gene Hackman, Enemy of the State. Mm-hmm. And this is a cool movie because it is like Jack Black's first role. He has this very, very small role. And there's some other folks. Seth Green from...
a lot of things. But yeah.
Austin Powers
yeah,
and all
thank
that.
you.
He's got a real... It's like got to be one of his first roles.
His first role was a kid in Can't Buy Me Love.
Okay,
he was a little kid.
But like, you see these guys like before people really even knew who they were. So it's fun to watch an old movie like that and see guys like that. But you mentioned Jack Black, but it's like his first one of his very first movies.
It's fun to watch them when they're young.
He was in the Cable Guy too, which he's had.
Yep.
He was in a. I mean, I wouldn't say it was, like I said, he was probably like a co-star type thing. It's more than a cameo, but it's, he was definitely looked very young in that movie, which is actually a funny movie. They call it a dark comedy, but it's kind of a funny movie.
Yeah, it has a lot of people say they messed up the ending. There was an ending that Jim Carrey, that they shot, that he wanted them to use, and they changed the ending, and there's been controversy about the ending of Cable Guy ever since.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he pretty much, no matter what, like, I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of his, but he saves that movie. I think Matthew Broderick sucks out loud in anything he does. I mean, he started a nuclear war. He's an idiot. So, I mean, it's just basically...
You get that?
I mean, anything else that guy does, I don't want to hear about it.
Okay, so we'll get off of that, because we don't want to get Keith upset, have him storm out and beat up Hook. And take Hook's crack from him.
Buck 05, man.
Buck 05?
Yeah, wet.
So
That's
I know he's wet. He wants to use my hose all the time.
It's Keith's turn.
Hook wants to use your hose. Look out.
Hey, now, my turn?
Yep.
You talking to me?
Talking to you.
You talking
I'm
about
looking at you.
You know who I can't talk to, and you can't talk to Billy Idol that way, because Billy Idol and the Wedding Singer is going to save you on this one. So Billy Idol and the Wedding Singer, you
he was
can't
on my
talk to
list
Billy
too.
Idol that way. Excuse me, sir, chicken or fish?
That's on my list too. I love it. I love how he's just like listening.
Ones where you got him, he's passed out, he's drinking champagne, and that's how Sad Sailor wanted it. And I seen an interview one time. He was like, "Can we get Billy Idol just to like hang out on the plane and be drunk and just hanging out?" So
do what Billy Idol does best.
There is concert footage of him. It's not real recent, but I want to say it's like 2015 or something like that, with him and Steve Stevens. And the one track that YouTube pulls up on my playlist all the time is Flesh for Fantasy. Mm-hmm. And they crush.
Oh, I just saw them last year.
So
they sound amazing.
And he looks good too. He's like, and he's kept like a good figure. He's like, not fat. He's like obviously stayed in shape and stuff. He vocally, they sound like the whole band just rocks.
Yeah, I saw them last year. They were amazing. He takes his shirt off still. It doesn't look horrible. So there it is.
Yeah, I mean, like,
No, that's always a plus.
Yes.
When you have
front row seats, it's a plus.
When you're 60 years old, you can take your shirt off on stage, man. God bless you. God bless you. But I mean, Billy's. We need to do a podcast about some of these guys that were like real kind of like different. Like he was, you know what I mean? Like he was rock, but he was pop, but he was new wave, but he was punk. You know what I mean? He was
a mixed bag.
We should do 10 niche defying bands or something like that. Or artists or something, because he's really kind of like, and rock, DVE played him. But for those of you that aren't from the Pittsburgh area, DVE was the big rock station in Pittsburgh. But all the pop stations played him, and the alternative station played him as well. So he was like, he's
all over the place.
He went a lot of. He was able to appeal to by being himself and being really different. In some way, he would be able. We also appealed to a lot of people.
Yeah,
that's a unique thing. So
I'd have a drink with him.
And he seems like a cool guy. Yeah, exactly.
That would be cool to hang out with Billy Idol, because I would want to drink champagne and just talk shit to him the whole time.
I know somebody that was on a plane with Billy Idol. I'll tell you. I don't want to tell that story now. We'll talk to it later. So who's next? Who's Lily? What do you got?
I have Back to the Future, Huey Lewis.
What? That's cheating.
It's not cheating. He also has 2 featured songs in the movie, of course, but he plays the high school Battle of the Bands audition judge, where he tells Marty, while playing The Power of Love, That he is too loud.
You're just too damn loud, guys.
Also, while we're talking about Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2, Flea was in it, and Back to the Future 3, ZZ Top was in it. So, just kill all the birds right there.
Just bringing them, bring out your dead.
And I liked ZZ Top playing as like Western men at the little shindig they were having.
Wow.
Almost like they were playing themselves.
Okay, I'm going to be like Mr. Obvious.
Okay.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. How about this one, Keith, for drummers? Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder. Dave Grohl as Satan in The Pick of Destiny.
Damn right.
There it is.
One.
You got Ronnie James in there too, not a drummer, but
RJD was in that, but honestly, Dave Grohl steals the show. I mean, that is like one of the most.
But of course, I mean, Dave Grohl he's got that thing, man. Where it's Dave Grohl being Dave Grohl. That's all. What are you gonna do? Everybody's captivated by Dave Grohl. So.
What's the guy's name, Lily?
That guy
From Rocky Horror Picture Show. Tim
Curry.
Tim Curry.
That's it.
Tim Curry plays a great demon in that
Legend.
Legend. Okay.
He also plays a good clown in it. So.
Yeah, but he's great, and that's one of my favorite. However, Dave Grohl's Satan might be on par. That's how
equal.
good. That's how good.
Yeah,
that is. That's insane, and it's freaking hilarious. And I love the song that they do, and tribute.
I just bought that for $1.
I'll buy that for $1. What movie is that from?
I don't remember now.
RoboCop. That's the game show that's playing on the TVs all the time. But yeah, Dave Grohl as Satan in The Pick of Destiny, which is another music kind of movie, right?
Yep, that's for sure a music movie.
I would say, yeah, for sure.
So what do you got, Keith?
Let me see here for a second. There's just so damn many. Let's do rock and roll before rock and roll. Let's do Bo Diddley in Trading Places.
Nice.
He was the guy that worked at the pawn shop, and Dan Aykroyd was trying to sell him a watch that was probably worth tons of money. And he was like, "Yes, in Philadelphia, it's worth $50."
Bo knows.
I mean,
Bo knows watches.
You can't steal away that Bo Diddley riff. I mean, the guy didn't have any ego. He only put his name in every fucking song he did. But that's the way it was.
Well,
they basically he took that beat was called the Bo Diddley beat that everybody's used from U2 to freaking you name it. So it's a guy that maybe pre-rock and roll, but it wasn't for him. Rock and roll, maybe not so much. I don't know.
Well, him say, he does. He puts his name in the songs, but that's a lot of things a lot of rappers do.
Oh yeah, all the time.
So so that's a kind of cultural thing.
Jason Derulo puts it in every song, from what I hear.
I would do that too if I was a rapper. I would do that.
You don't hear many Led Zeppelin songs like "We're Led Zeppelin and we rock," and you don't really hear.
He's
that.
not like Robert Plant.
My name is Robert Plant, and I kicked some butt. You don't really hear that,
I would say stuff like, "Yo, I'm Keith, and I ain't no thief. You think I'm gonna steal from you? You better
Here you go. He's
call
freestyling.
some other Keith." That's shit like that,
He's freestyling.
You better call me some other Keith.
Can't.
What
I didn't
are you
take- I didn't
smoking
take
over
your
there in
stuff.
New Orleans?
I didn't take your stuff, fool.
Wow.
My name is Keith. I ain't no thief.
Sick.
All right, we're running out of time. We come on, let's get a couple more in here before we gotta go. What do you got?
Crossroads. Steve Vai.
Oh yeah, good one.
One of my favorite guitar battle scenes ever. Steve Vai obviously plays Jack Butler, who is the Devil's guitar player, battling against Ralph Macchio's character. And he's obviously doing both parts, but great cameo. I think it's fantastic because I'm in love with him, and I don't care.
There you go.
Period. I know you don't like him as much.
No, I'm just being goofy. Also in that, and now not in that movie, but a lot of the country blues slide stuff was performed by Ry Cooder.
Yes.
Just
Correct.
to give the devil his due. And
There you go.
and the guy who started virtual guitar lessons with videotapes and stuff like that. His name was Arlen Roth. Coached Ralph Macchio
On his fingers.
on his playing. So those three guys are all legends in the guitar world. I'm a guitar nerd, so I know all that useless stuff. Sorry. I digress. Keith, pull me out. Help me. Rescue me, brother.
What?
Tell me something.
Let me tell you. I got
something good.
for
Tell
you.
me something good.
I am just like I'm going to tell you something good, just like Shaka Khan and Rufus. We're going to go with you had Jack White. I'm going to go Jack Black with a little bit of he's Elvis and Walk Hard, a Dewey Cox story.
Nice. He flipped it. He means Jack White.
Jack White, not Jack
Sorry,
Black.
my bad.
You accidentally flipped
Jack
it. That's
Black.
all.
Jack Black,
You got
Jack White, whatever. You could actually call him Jack Asian if you want.
Jack Asian. Jack Asian.
So I got Jack White in Walk Hard, a Dewey Cox story as Elvis, and he does have some lines. He does some karate, and he's
And
the
there it
king.
is.
That's all you need to know.
Very cool.
Sort of an honorable mention then is Nick Crenshaw, Nick Crenshaw as Buddy Holly
Okay.
for a brief moment, in a blink and you'll miss a moment in the one about Richie Valens, La Bamba.
La Bamba. Yeah.
Yes.
Beth actually has a chime in here. She said Tom Petty and Postman. Didn't see the movie. No, he's in it, but that's definitely
Wait a
that definitely
minute,
counts.
Mr. Postman. Whoa, wait a minute.
So that counts.
That counts.
My next one, and I'm just going to say it real quick. I know we're not talking about certain people in Rockstar, but I want to talk about Miles Kennedy in Rockstar because that was a surprise for me for him being in it at the end. Basically the same like thing that happened to Mark Wahlberg's character. He was a fan who just wanted to be in the band and ends up getting his
Miles
moment.
Kennedy.
Sure
Yeah,
is.
I did not know that. And I love Miles Kennedy. It's like one of my favorite singers.
Sure is.
Where'd you learn that at? Where'd you learn that at?
Where'd I learn that at?
Yeah.
I've known that since I watched the movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I have it on. I have it on
I've seen that movie
DVD. I need to rewatch it.
16,000 times.
Yep. The very end.
That's Miles Kennedy.
Sure is.
Wow.
And obviously, as we know, Jason Bonham and Jack Wild.
When that movie came out, though, was Miles Kennedy
He
at that
was.
time?
Yeah, he still was.
Now, what I'm saying is, was he?
Well,
like
yeah, he was somebody. And
What
they
I'm saying was, stop. Let me finish my
OMG.
question. Like, was he like was Alter Bridge like big or something? Or was something happening, or was he just an unknown at that time?
he wasn't an unknown.
Okay.
But it was 2001. He wasn't an unknown, but I don't think he was as huge as he is
Yeah,
now.
I gotcha. So he had
but yeah,
the
I definitely
mustache
knew it
and
was
all that,
him. Yeah. Also,
At that time,
Zach
it was
Wild
called
Michelson.
JFK. He changed it because he said that was inappropriate.
But great movie.
You know, one we forgot. Just saying, we should all be embarrassed for ourselves. Meatloaf is Fat Bob in Fight Club. Come on,
It's on my list.
that's a
Yeah,
great.
I
that's
had
a
like
great
20
shit.
on my list.
His name was Robert Paulson.
Fat
Yeah,
Bob.
His
Bob.
name was Robert Paulson.
With his
His
boobies.
name was Robert.
Bob-
and his
Bob
pants
got
fall
shot in the
down.
head.
His pants fall down. Yes.
And he beat the shit out of Edward Norton too. Made him tap out.
And everybody remembers Alice Cooper in Wayne's World, but Meatloaf is in Wayne's World too. He's the bouncer. He says, "Remember the he says, oh, and the shitty Beatles," and he goes, "Are they any good?" He goes, "No." So it's not just a clever name. He's the bouncer in Wayne's World.
And Wayne's World 2, Aerosmith is in there.
Oh,
They
Aerosmith.
are.
They have lines.
I got to say one. I got one that none of you guys would remember. Mm-hmm. Okay. You
Rush
ready?
is.
Oh, if you're going to say that one, no, I don't have that one.
Well, all the bands. Rush is in South Park. Okay, great. So is Kiss, and so is a million bands. Tom Waits as Renfield in Dracula.
Never saw... Which Dracula?
The Martin Scorsese.
Okay, I did not see that one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Actually, I never even thought about it, and I went on living my life. Nobody gives a shit about that one. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, stop it, Mr.
Because you know what?
Mean
You know what?
Pants.
You know how many people was influenced by Tom Waits? Just weird people. Because Tom Waits sounds like a gargling. He's gargling a fucking razor blade. Come on, Lou. Now
I'm a
let's be
huge
real.
Tom Waits fan. Tom Waits is one of my heroes. One of my absolute heroes. I love him.
I'd rather be trapped in a room and listen to a Blink-182 album, who actually makes an appearance in American Pie. See how I did that?
Legit. You came full circle on that.
Full cycle. All right, so we got too many to I'm not going to recap them. Hell with you guys. We got a whole bunch. Read the notes.
Twisted Sister.
Twisted Sister in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Yeah.
Nancy Wilson in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes, I was a blink and you missed it, and I did not. I never knew that she was in that.
Chester Bennington gets killed in Saw 3.
I knew that.
Now
So
it's some
does,
foreshadowing.
Jared Leto gets axe murdered in American Psycho by Christian Bale.
Hey, he was kind of asking for it.
He was.
Gore plays themselves in Empire Records.
My favorite.
Dave Matthews plays a gay guy and just go with it, and actually is really funny.
Oh, he's in You Don't Mess with the Zohan, too, as a hillbilly.
I saw that. I was very wasted.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies I saw really wasted. I don't not remember.
David Bowie was in Zoolander as the judge of the little catwalk.
That was on some lists. I ran across that today. Yeah.
And Alanis Morissette played
God.
God.
He's in that Labyrinth or whatever.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Alanis Morissette played God in Dogma.
Which was filmed in Pittsburgh.
Jerry Cantrell's and Jerry Maguire and tells Jerry Maguire to have your balls hang out and be free. So that's get a line.
On that happy note, you've been listening to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus with Lily V6. Lily, how can folks find your show?
You go to rockrageradio.com and listen on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And I've got a lot of interviews coming up, so I'm going to be rife with them.
Rife. When are you going to interview me for your show?
Do you want me to?
Yes.
Okay.
What about me?
I'll interview you.
Damiano interviewed me. What the hell I got to do? Pay you?
No. Nobody pays me.
And we got Keith the Hawk Hawkins. Keith, you
Don't be
got
asking no
anything?
crazy questions like he did. Though.
Anything you want to?
Mine are easy.
Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about? Or
Yeah, I'm playing this weekend in Mississippi because that's the only place to allow me to play.
It's the only place you're allowed.
The only place I can go to is freaking Mississippi to play because they don't care there, obviously.
My drum set's in Mississippi.
I'll be in Bowie's in, where the hell is it? Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. Be there. If you don't want to be there, then I don't care.
Buoys.
Or if you can't be there.
Buoys. I just want to
I'll be
give
there beginning August.
I just want to give a shout out to my, the guy that's been hiring me to play, Mark Shuttleworth. Played a gig with him on Saturday. It was a lot of fun. We played outside. It was 95 degrees. We were like both ready to pass out, and people loved it.
Good.
It was. I don't want to say it was outdoors. So I don't think you could pack the outdoors, but there was like all the tables were filled up. Everybody was there, and so it went really, really cool. So that's been some cool stuff, and I will let you guys know more about that. We're going to play at the Green Dance Winery coming up soon, and I'll let you guys know the date. It's just mellow stuff, chill
Nothing
stuff.
crazy.
Nothing too crazy, but it's fun, It's
Just a question. Did you do Brown Eyed Girl at all?
We did not do Brown Eyed Girl, although he does do it. We did not. We haven't played it the last couple gigs.
Horse shit.
Then you suck. We started with Reign of Z. We played the Redlines, and we're gonna end with a band that I really love from Canada. They're French Canadian, but they do sing in English. A great rock and roll band, Flying Joes. We're going to play them. We're going to wrap up with those guys. But you haven't listened to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, please go to wolfcustoms.online. Seriously, guys, talk to Chris and get like some custom work done on one of your instruments. It's very simple. You send it out to him, he fixes it, or he customizes it for you with the finish and gets it right back to you. Keith had some drums done. It's easy process. So go check him out. Shout out to Rock Rage Radio. You guys are the absolute greatest. Check him out. Keith Hawkins, thehawk.com. Get hawked.
I don't have any .coms. It's just the Hawk, and
you need a shirt that says "Get Hawked."
Get hawked.
Come to Mississippi and get hawked.
Come to Mississippi and go to Mississippi and get hawked with the Hawkins. All right, guys. This is the
sunscreen.
All right, guys. Have a great week, and we'll catch you next week. Check out the Flying Joes. Beat the devil out of me. Have a great week. We'll talk to you on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.